Not everybody's going to agree with everything I'm going to say here, so you're disagreeing with God, not me, but it was 50 years ago last week, and I bet some of you were there. Just up 84, not far, close to 500,000 people descended on Woodstock, just a farm, without adequate roads or food and an awful lot of rain. Why? I'm not going to do a show of hands if you were there. I was 11, a little too young really to understand Woodstock. Why did 500,000 people go? And it would have been far more if they could have gone there. Why? And, there's no easy answer to that. Maybe everybody had their own reason for going. But it was the end of the 60s and a cultural revolution that I don't really remember, too young, but just to change in how America worked. And most of us are old enough to remember the before and after. Was it for great music? Yeah. Some great world famous people there. Was it for, drugs? Yeah. I mean, drugs that probably many people had not seen. They were, being introduced, whatever, being shared easily. Was it for sex? Yeah, a lot of sex going on, just do what you want to do, kind of, Well, was it about freedom? I don't know. I wasn't there, and I'm not old to remember, but it was certainly a whole generation of the older baby boomers saying, maybe there's a better way, a wider way, where the rules that, like my father grew up with, were not working for, like, my older brother's generation. They're pretty straight-laced, but, my father fought Hitler at the Battle of the Bulge and wore that crew cut the rest of his life. He died with that. He could not understand how you wouldn't want to go fight for your country in Vietnam and how a man could wear long hair. He couldn't grip, like, how is that all happening, right? Is there a better way? Is there an alternative way? Instead of, the rigid rules, which, let's face it, religion is blamed for that. Here's the commandments, do what the commandments say. Adultery is wrong, etc. And Jesus says, go through the narrow door. The way to heaven is through a narrow door. Not an easy, wide open door. Take the narrow door. And I'm no social commentator, but all I would say is, try to give Jesus' answer to the questions that were being asked there. Do we like what we see? Easily the #1 story at the end of this year is going to be the violence that continues to rid our country. Easily. And how many more violent episodes will we see? Or the opioid controversy and difficulties. The kids are down in Philadelphia right now. I'm not with them, but they're well chaperoned. The needles are all over. Those people's lives are being thrown away. And there is no hope. They're not hopeless. They're hopeless and hopeless. Throwaway people. And if you said to me, find 200 strong families in this massive place, I'd have trouble finding 200 strong families. I could probably find them. Sister and I could probably go to a list and find 2, maybe, out of 1,500, maybe, where the parents are happily married and the kids are growing up with mom. I'm not sure if I could find 200. I don't know. We lost that. Every door in every school has locks on the door. Were they wrong to say, let's make a wider door that society can get rid of the commandments and just have a freer approach to life that the oldest people in the building remember probably better than I do? Were we better off? And I think the answer is we didn't need a wider door. Jesus said open to the narrow. We needed a taller door. A door that dared to ask questions, but different questions. The question isn't, why is sex outside marriage wrong? Which is what the kids will ask you in class. I get that all the time. The better question is, let's wonder what sex inside marriage gives us. Happy families. Children being raised by stable parents. A man and a woman who say, I give my life to you, only to you, permanently to you. The older people in the building will understand that better than I do. They're the ones who have the marriages down with the bishop in June, married 50 and 70 years. Because they understood that sex belongs in marriage. And why it belongs in marriage. They were not afraid to ask questions, but they asked better questions. I think Woodstock maybe asked the wrong questions or answered them to excess rather than on Jesus' narrow way. See, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here. But is everybody going to get into heaven? That's what that man was asking. Martin Luther was saying, very few of you are going to get into heaven. And that's why he left. You're depraved. Catholic approach is, probably most people are going to get into heaven. I know this. When you get to heaven, you're going to find out three things. You're going to see people you didn't think were going to be there, and they are. You're going to see people you thought would be there, and they're not. And you're going to find yourself there. And you probably wondered, you might not be getting there. I'm a sinner. Well, Jesus came to save us because we're good, not bad. Mankind is basically, your generosity in this parish is amazing. You do anything I ask you to do for the poor and the needy. We're good. But let's make sure we're on the right road. I came to the road and hit a divide, and I took the road that was less traveled. Not many people were going that way. And that made all the difference. That's what the poem says. Does your life say that? Let us stand, my friends.